I'm Ewan. I'm the founder of Clicked Media, and we are a digital marketing agency. And I've been doing it for around 5 years.
So take me back to before we were working together. Like, what would you say the biggest challenges were that you were facing at that point in time?
Yeah, so before we started working together, I really struggled with focus. I wouldn't be able to focus on goals. I wouldn't be able to get things done. I would avoid doing things and I would try focus on too much stuff, and therefore I wouldn't be able to get the most important things done.
Now, I would hazard a guess that at that point in time, right? Knowing what I know about you now, that you wouldn't have said that you were a lazy person by any stretch of the imagination. Kind of in your own words, how did that show up for you?
I wasn't achieving what I wanted to achieve. I felt 2 years or a year behind whenever I would look at my skill set, because I knew what I could achieve, because it never was laziness. It was just because I couldn't focus, I wouldn't get the things done that I needed to get done to get me to where I needed to get to.
I remember us talking about that at that point in time as well, that feeling, gnawing feeling of knowing that I am this like 2 to 3 year lagging measure behind where I ultimately wanted to be. Was there anything else aside from kind of like focus that you felt you were struggling with, or anything a bit deeper into that at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of things that we've spoke about, like sleep, for example. There'll be times when I've had a really bad week of sleep. I'll drop you a message, because it would be all of the time, but I find that with my brain type, I really struggle to sleep when I'm having a stressful week or they've got a lot of work on. So sleep was the main thing. I also think that probably, I'd even say confidence as well in a certain aspect. Before we started working together, there was a reason why I never put a personal brand out there, but you gave me the confidence to essentially do it, and from the work that we've done.
And with these challenges that you were kind of facing at that point in time, how would you say that they were rearing their head inside of like your life and also the business? What kind of an impact were they?
Just lack of growth, really, because I was growing every year, month to month we were growing, but the issue that I had, it just wasn't at the rate that I wanted it to be at, and the rate I knew it should be at, because of the hurdles that I would always face and challenges.
And I'm just curious, I'm just intentionally trying to dig into that a little bit more. When you say like the hurdles, how are they expressed? So I know we've kind of like touched on it from the point of view of like focus, etc. But can you give like a real world example of how that actually looked?
Yeah. I was redesigning my website for about 12 months for a start. I know that was one of the first goals that we set together, but always striving for being perfect. That was one. And I think perfection is procrastination in disguise. And that is one thing I find really prevalent with my brain. That's one. So, and obviously that's going to have an effect on the business also. Leaving things to last minute as well. That was one of the big ones that I tended to do quite a bit. I would leave a lot of things to the last minute. And despite me being good at what I do, and I'd always get them over the line, it's not a practical way of running a business.
If you can remember, was there a catalyst moment for you that you then recognized, I need some help with this?
I always knew I needed help with it. I mean, it's been that much of an issue. I've told you that I've been to a therapist and things like that. I've tried other courses. I've tried reading books. I've tried the podcast route, but nothing's really, really resonated with me until we started working together. And then I saw one viral video of yours, and then that was it. I was hooked. I was ready to start working with you. So yeah.
That. Out of curiosity as well, what do you feel it was about the things that you tried previously that maybe didn't give you exactly what it is that you needed? I'm not going to say necessarily that they didn't work, because maybe some did, some didn't. But why not as effective as what we've done here?
I think mainly because the content wasn't catered to my specific issue, which was ADHD and business and entrepreneurship and how they go side by side. I think a lot of the content that I was seeing out there was catered to other scenarios, such as ADHD in relationships or just ADHD in general life. There was never anything that was as specific about ADHD and entrepreneurship. And I think they were the biggest struggles that I had. It was entrepreneurship, battling it with ADHD. It can be difficult.
And I know you've kind of like spoke to it a little bit there, but it'd be interesting to hear if you've got any other further thoughts on this. What was it that made you choose us?
I knew instantly you got it. I think everything that you were addressing with the problems that I was facing as a business owner. And I think that also, I can tell that you lived it. You've lived it. You haven't just read a book about it and thought, okay, I'm going to start talking about it. No, this is you. You've done this to get to where you've got to now. And I wanted that as well. I think that's what ultimately sold it for me.
Bit of a more open-ended one. What's the journey been like for you so far? In your own words, like how has this experience been?
Yeah, it's been great, the experience, to be honest. I think there is just one thing that you've helped me with, because obviously we started with the Hunter Brain. The first maybe month or so, we put things in place, we put practices in place, which has ultimately helped me massively. But now we focus on the business side of things, which has been amazing for me. I mean, in the last 8 weeks, I'd say there's been more change within the business than there would have been probably 8 months prior, maybe even a year prior. The changes that we've made and implemented, the personal brand side of things, I'm a lot clearer with that now. I don't think I would have that, but I wouldn't have that if we didn't start working together. But I also know as well that if we do need to go back into the nitty gritty fundamentals of why we started working together in the first place, which was the ADHD and the things that I struggled with, we can go back to that. And also, yeah, all of the practices we've put in place have, I'd probably say, life changing ultimately. I feel almost more complete. I feel more confident in myself. I know where I'm going and what I now need to do to get there, which I didn't have before. And it sometimes gets to a point where you're like, I'm actually built for this. And that's not a nice place to be, you know? So now we're working together. I don't feel that anymore. I feel like I'm ready for anything.
Now, if you're able to kind of like do a little bit of a listicle for me, just so we can capture the essence of like what you've achieved so far, what would you say like your biggest wins have been if you were to list them out?
Before we started working together, I could never have seen myself being this confident to do the personal brand side of things. So I'm more surprised that we're there than I would be saying that 4 more clients have came on board this week because we've done this. Do you know? Since we have started working together, I would say that the client onboarding process, I've taken on, I think, 200% more clients in that time period than I did the previous period, which is brilliant. That's just because of the work that we've done together in regards to processes, internal, making things more streamlined, and also the personal brand side of things as well. That's really helped me. I had 4 new potential clients reach out this week alone just off that video. So brilliant.
That's class, mate. That's so cool. How has this changed what the future holds for you and your business?
I think that going forward, I know if I've got any questions, I can always run them past you. I know that I can count on you for anything that's business related, even non-business related, but business related. And I know that you will have an answer for me. And I think that it just gives me the confidence to just make better informed decisions going forward. I also think as well that any other kind of problems that may arise or doubts that I have, I know that I can run them past you first, whether it be content ideas or marketing strategies or even website design. Like you helped me with that as well. I know that you've got my back with that as well. So going forward, I just feel a lot more confident in growing the business.
And if there's anyone that's potentially sitting on the fence, that's thinking about joining, they're curious, they've heard the Hunter Brain stuff, they're like, this is new, I've never come across something like this before. What would you say to that person who's on that fence?
I'd say just book the first call. Just book the first call. I'm a very hesitant person when it comes to education and putting trust into other people. But if anybody is hesitant or sitting on the fence, just book the call, and I promise you, it'll be one of the best things you've ever done. I feel like a different person, mate. Like it's mental. It's actually crazy. I've changed that much. I can't remember what that person was like. I literally wake up and I don't feel like that anymore.
How does that feel? To feel evidently so far away from where you are?
Doesn't feel real, because there's times that when you do have the Hunter Brain, you have ADHD, that you think, I'm always going to be like this. Like, there's no fix. That's genuinely what I was thinking. I thought, I'm going to have to work twice as hard as, say, a normal brain or person with that brain would to get to the same place. So it can be dark times, you know, because you're sitting there thinking, I'm never going to amount to what I know I should be or could be. And when you've tried all the podcasts, you've read books, you've tried to educate yourself, and nothing seems to work as much as it should. And then we started working together, and then it's just amazing to feel that you've achieved things that you never thought you'd be able to do. And these are all achieved by practical things that you've told me to do. So the kill list, for example, things like that, simple changes that make a massive, massive change to everything. So to answer your question, how does it feel to come this far? It feels amazing.
Of that. And I know it can also feel like, just going back to what you're saying, like the dark times, because I've also been there. I think a contributing factor to the dark times is that when we're in that space of like, it's always going to be like this, it's also that no one fucking gets it.
No one understands it. They just think, okay, you do the right thing, right? You buy the books, you listen to the podcasts, you know, you try to educate yourself. But I think the difference was with you is that you understood more just from talking to me and understanding my challenges, probably because you've been through them yourself, right? And I think the thing that really, really helped it was the exercises and things and the accountability piece as well. That was probably the biggest driver in the success of all of this. And I think you're patient as well. Don't expect too much. So that really helped me in my journey with this as well. One more thing I want to add as well is not just the help with the Hunter Brain that's been business changing, really. It's the business acumen as well. I think with the things that we spoke about with funnels and things like that helped me massively. So not just the personal branding side of things, it's the acumen in regards to funnels, day-to-day running of the business as well, internal processes, new tools and systems and things. So I found that really beneficial as well.